I couldn't really believe it, but Black Ops 6 gave us 156 different augments. That's more than the amount of Pokemon on the original Game Boy. I didn't realise how many there were, because so many of them are completely forgettable. Some augments, I'm sure, have never even been used, whilst others are used more than your single auntie's rabbit under the bed. Look how exciting this ability is. Use equipment while sprinting.
It's unbelievable, Jeff!
Most of the augments become completely redundant because others do what they do, but better. Who really wants to use Supernova on Dark Flare? The name and description illustrate a calamitous astral explosion, only to deliver a flaccid ball of pre-sparks. This augment talks a big game, but delivers 4 seconds of disappointing missionary. And Broad Beam increases the girth of your laser by approximately 2 inches.
Yeah, boy.
That actually does sound quite useful. Anyway, this video may be completely redundant because we all know Black Ops 7 will fix all of our issues, but it would be nice to see some innovation and creativity. This would build on a solid foundation we already have going into Black Ops 7, because quite frankly, no one wants to be able to use equipment while sprinting. And it's not just these augments that are lacking in depth. The very last augment on Frostblast makes the Blizzard move forward. And I could justify something being pointless or weak if it was fun to use. But why is this? It looks like a Blizzard got stuck on a Roomba. Same for Dead Set on Deadshot Daiquiri. Who's using this? I would love to see the stats on augment usage. Reduced gun movement whilst doing advanced movement, but you can barely notice the difference. Can you tell me which one is Dead Set? A or B? It should be obvious if an augment's added any difference. And here are a few more that are not so great. Dr. Ram on PhD is just a terrible version of PhD Slider. Depth perception augments are just complete arse in general. Smell of death on Vulture sounds cool, as it conceals you whilst you stand in the gas cloud, but it lasts about as long as I do in bed, and probably doesn't smell any better either. There needs to be more unique abilities because, once again, no one wants to use equipment while sprinting. So how could the augments be improved going into Black Ops 7? I don't know. I'm not a multi-million-dollar game studio, but I'd love to see a little bit more identity in the augments. I'd like to see stronger augments that require you to sacrifice another stat, so that's balanced. Augments working in harmony to create unique playstyles, for example, becoming a tank with increased HP and resistances, but reduced movement speed and damage. Or becoming a glass cannon, you deal tons of damage, but you can be down by the lightest breeze. Not all augments need to be a stat buff, but as long as it's fun and changes up how you play. Currently there doesn't feel like there's any trade-off to the augments. People just pick the most optimum, which in my opinion leaves less room for theory crafting builds and trying out goofy playstyles. Zombies can become repetitive by design, so implementing a system that would give you different ways to play would be a big plus in Black Ops 7. I can't see any reason to use anything outside of Ether Shroud, or maybe healing, or if your team have a phobia of staying on their feet. Maybe Frenzy Fire on Frenzied Guard, and Turret on Energy Mine are the only unique augments I can think of that actually do something other than a stat buff. Field upgrades need to feel unique. At least if the others were fun to use, they would get some use. Some of these augments make me want to sprint to Treyarch Studio whilst holding my equipment, so they can give me some justification. Anyway, no one wanted to hear this rant, so let me know if you have any thoughts, and if you like sprinting whilst holding equipment. I apologise, I guess. I'm out.